Hello again, Struckwap. Welcome back to another evening of streaming. Hello to you, Sean, earlier than than me even. So welcome back to everyone. We will be continuing where we left off last night for a couple of hours or so, just to keep leveling that Railmaster I started last night. We'll see what happened with that patch today. Maybe they might have actually fixed some bugs along with maintenance for the server and disconnects. We will see. I reported that weird behavior we've been experiencing with shield car, so hopefully that's been fixed. And also I've just uploaded a few minutes ago an extended 92 minutes behemoth of a beginner's guide for the game, for Torchlight 3. So yeah, we're continuing with Puffing Billy, my Railmaster on Ridiculous. I've been playing a little bit of my non-main Forge, just testing stuff, just leveling it up, but eventually tomorrow probably I will be playing a new playthrough on the other Forged from level 1 on Ridiculous. The Forged, I can tell you, is painful at the first few levels. It is difficult to level a Forged still. I guess it's again gonna be stronger eventually, but not right away. So here it seems I've been saving points, or maybe I haven't. Maybe I just leveled up before quitting yesterday and before leaving to get rest. So the interesting thing would be, what would I wanna invest into? Should I keep points for Lantern Flash? We noticed that Shield Car was glitchy and messy. I'm thinking of saving points. I'm at level 8, so in 2 levels I can probably get Lantern Flash. Ideally I want that 65% damage versus stunned, blinded and slowed enemies. And I really want to test this thing here, just to see what it is like to use that skill. But okay, let's just go and do the quest I need to do. Go to the abandoned mines is my quest. Fireberry village. But yeah, Sean, nice having you here. you even beat me to my own stream. So okay. But yeah, anyone who needs that info, I included timestamps in my beginner's guide, so people can just watch the things they need information about and just skip the things they don't. It's a big guide. I could have probably split it into 2 separate videos, but it's much easier watching it all in one video and using the timestamps to skip through that, rather than trying to navigate from one video to another video. It's just what I would prefer as a viewer, and that's why I made it like that. But yeah, it's unusual for me to do this big of a guide. But before I knew it, when I recorded so much stuff about all the things in the game, it ended up being so big. But the thing is, there were a lot of things about the game that I wanted to talk about, and yeah. So this guy is gonna be a little bit weaker until I level him up, I guess. It doesn't start off as strong as some of the other heroes did. Definitely nowhere near a strong early game as a sharpshooter or a dust mage. Probably stronger than a Forge still, but the Forged I played on hard yesterday. I will be making another playthrough, as I said, on Ridiculous and Forged for streaming, but the other one I just want to level it to 22 for YouTube purposes. I need every one of the heroes to at least 22. So I can get every skill learned. Okay, I'm testing a lot of the stuff with those characters. I'm testing all the skills. I'm testing things I've never played before, such as, for example, Torque Swing. When it got added in the beta, I wasn't playing as much, So that's one thing I've never tried, as an example. So let's try and find the abandoned mines. Is that level 7 or level 8 enemy? That's level 8 enemy, so I'm guessing I'm on the right track. Because if I know right, that should be next to the level 8 enemies. The place I need to go. Railmaster does feel kind of fun the way they reworked it though. It feels very different. It feels very different not having the endurance being the cost of the skills, but rather being the resource that decides some bonus effects. I'm not sure whether this feels more intuitive or not. Oh, that's not where we need to go, we need to return, fuck. Okay. I just need to play some at least level 20-30 Railmaster to decide how it compares to the Railmaster before the endurance changes. But so far it seems nice. So far it seems nice having all those extra bonuses proccing based on how much endurance we've got. So there's probably still gonna be builds where you would want to get your endurance high as much as possible. To be proccing those things as soon as you can. I'm not gonna worry with this elite. I whack the damage to deal with him. You got 2000 of the struck boats. There is not much I can think of for those struck boats. I'm gonna have to think of game specific things. For example, I can think of stuff with Torchlight 3 later for those boats, but those are meant to encourage chat interaction. That's the main reason why Twitch made those. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out some weird stuff that could be used with those boats, or that those boats could be used for. More likely, it's better to put it that way. Okay, is that the place where I need to go? Nope. Man, am I in the right zone first? I might not be in the right zone, am I? Oh, never mind. I'm here, I'm here. This is all the way at the start of the zone. So I've noticed my inventory is kind of full, so give me a moment to quickly get rid of some shit. Got some wife-bound stuff. I'm gonna be using the shield. For now, I think I'd rather use the shield and survive, because as you saw, I kind of might be a little bit squishy right now. When I get that damage reduction from the swings and stack it with shield car, it might be a good combo. And in the end, I'm thinking probably shield car for higher leveled Railmaster. Shield car probably might be actually not needed for a melee build, because you're gonna get enough defense, and that damage reduction is gonna be very strong at the later levels. Whereas the damage reduction I'm getting right now from shield car doesn't seem to be as much. Maybe it's better today. Yesterday it was weird. It was glitchy. Maybe it was fixed. I'm not seeing that much problem surviving now when I'm next to the train, as opposed to yesterday. So it's entirely possible that it really was bugged. I mean, it was definitely bugged because I could get my damage reduction to 90% on the stats window, but it wasn't really giving me that much. And if it really was giving me that much, it was still a bug, because it shouldn't go above 10 plus 50. 10 from being next to the train and 50 with the bubble. I'm still not seeing the bubble around my character when I leave the big bubble. There used to be an effect where you see a smaller version of that big bubble around your character, and that's how you know that you've got that extra shield car buff on you from the active skill. Shield car also doesn't have endurance bonus effect added on the tooltip still. So I'm not sure what the endurance effect on shield car is. There should be some, but I can't know what it is. I'm gonna just push through. Oh, that's the mission to save the two dudes. Keep moving. Can't wait to try the other hammer swing, torque swing. It's like it seems like the hammer spin, but a damaging version of it, which I've been asking for some time ago. I've been asking for a way to let us have a damage version of the hammer spin from a legendary item. I guess they decided instead of making it from a legendary item to just make a new skill that does that. Which is fair enough. I mean, I wanted a damage dealing version of hammer spin and they gave us a whole new skill. Can't be happier than that. Can't be happier than that to have a skill similar to the hammer spin, but for damage. That AoE hammer time skill.
Your health is low.
Drop all items in my inventory for 5,000 struck bolts. That seems a little bit too much, but maybe destroy all your wife-bound items could work. Destroy all your wife-bound items could work. I think I've disabled the kill my character because it was most of the times I wouldn't notice it on time, and it's pointless if I'm not noticing the kill my character on time. It's nice if Twitch makes it so that I can hear some sound and I can upload some weird sound that would play immediately if someone uses that. But that's something that Twitch needs to do. Twitch needs to do it so that when someone redeems something with points, you can add a custom sound effect that can play and that you can hear on your side from some sort of window or whatever. Or to give you some sort of notification that's easier to see. Because with the kill my character redeems, it's all about perfect timing. I mean, if I miss it even by like 30 seconds, it might already be too late. I might have killed the boss or whatever. But yeah, maybe destroy all my wife-bound items in that I'm currently wearing or have in my bags. This work like a nice thing, but it's gonna have to be TL. It's gonna have to be Torchlight 3 only stuff. Wait, don't tell me I missed them. Damn, I always miss the turn for those guys. I did the same last night on my forged. I must have skipped that other dude. There we go. So I'm waiting to get level 10, and then I'm gonna have enough points to get Lantern Flash. And with Lantern Flash, by the time I'm level 13, I would have the extra 60% damage, 65% damage to stun, sword, or blinded targets, and it would also be blinding. And that stacks with the vulnerability from blasting charge. So you're making the enemies take so much more damage with that type of Railmaster, with the Slam Master. I mean, I used to call it AoE Master, but now that they renamed the skill tree to Slammer, I could probably name the build a Slam Master. it would actually work. Let's get all that XP here.
After I and my companions defeated Torchlight, Ulrich became obsessed with preventing the Ember's life by ridding the world of all Ember. Wielding the relic, the staff of Lynn Rosalind, Ulrich returned to Torchlight and installed within it
I can barely
Ortrak's
hear
power.
the voiceover.
Ensuing destruction obliterated the town of Torchlight utterly.
What? For a second I was like, what, did I just kill it? But they really need to remove the build train from our skill bar and give us a separate key to toggle that on off. I already wrote in note under someone else's thread that they made like a month ago. So someone else was feeling the same way I do, that the build train skill doesn't have to be placed on the skill bar. It's just a bit too much to have it in the skill bar, and it's such an underwhelming skill right now to have that build train basic turret. I mean, if I could just have shield car without the build train, I would, but I can't. So I'd much rather just have the build train be on a separate hotkey and not be on the skill bar. But that's the weirdest hero in an ARPG I've seen ever, so it's taking them a while to figure out how certain things should be. They've reworked some of its mechanics, especially with the train, quite a few times already. Little and big reworks in that number. Oh fuck, I don't have any remaining potions. Let's go to the shrine. There's a shrine here. Know your environment, I guess, with bosses.
You have my gratitude, dear hero.
Shield, I'm gonna go for shield this time.
I overheard the goblins plotting a new assault.
Even though I do
They
have a
found
nice
an
one.
ancient dwarven automaton in the excavated workshop.
Still trying to get
Hurry,
healing
before the
friendship.
goblins repair that
Go
death
home. Pet. Still trying to get the healing friendship pet skill, because I really love it. I really want to have some extra healing proccing every now and then. More crit damage. Don't mind if I do. 39.5% bog chance. That's maxing out bog chance. I'm gonna use this wife bound until my other one breaks. Seems like a decent bargain. And what about the pistols? 14.7. But crit damage, man, crit damage. I'm thinking of getting that crit damage there. Okay, next. Let me see what the chat. Hydrate, hydrate. Yeah, hydrate, hydrate. I was waiting for my tea to become a little bit colder. It's still too warm, but I'm gonna try and drink some tea. Yeah, it's okay. It's not burning too much. But yeah, I will hydrate. So a little bit more, and then we can get Lantern Flash. Next stop would be Fire Belly Village and the workshop. At least the way should be. Yeah, we can see where we need to go now. We're just bursting through. But yeah, yesterday my stream's a little bit late due to me being busy with recording footage, editing footage, and all of that. I actually even didn't include some things I wanted to include in that video, like some screenshots and things, because I just couldn't find them. I had some old screenshots of the contracts and other things like that. I just couldn't figure out where I had those. Of the contracts from Torchlight, Frontiers, the ones that we're actually allowed to share. Ah, fuck it, I'm not gonna worry with this mob. I'm just gonna go get the... I'm gonna get the boss. I need some potions on the way. I'm having very bad luck with the potions right now. That's gonna change at level 20, because at level 20 I can equip the second legendarium item, and I'm probably gonna get the one for the potions, because I don't have a better option right now. My two good ones are the Egg of Wonder and the one with the potions, and that's it. The other ones I've got are either broken or not unlocked. Okay. What was this fight? Oh, it was the secret weapon fight. With just two potions. My only hope now would be that the enemies we kill here would be the ones that drop pots. And so far they have been dropping a lot of potions to me around boss fight zones. Kind of stuck there. No, why did I use the potion if it's too early? Well, it's not dropping me potions now from the little guys. Maybe the damage reduction is fixed, because I'm noticing so much more survivability around the shield car nowadays compared to yesterday. Oh fuck. Fuck. I can't move due to all the goblins. I really need that extra charge of hammer spin from that item. There's one more item that gives me that can give me extra charge on the hammer spin. Come on, so close. And almost. There we go.
You've received a quest.
Let's see, give me healing friendship. Come on, no. Doesn't want to give me healing friendship. But we got a blue rifle. Not a bad one. Finally better shoulder armor. Oh, and a better one-handed weapon. Okay, pet, go sell, and we need to go to the next zone. I'm gonna go to the next zone, get the waypoint, and then go turn in as I normally do when I'm at such a point. So we're going to the overgrown track now. Come on. And wait, was that the right way? Yeah. Yeah, but I still ended up in a dead end. Okay, now we're gonna go and turn in through the waypoint. There was some weird bug happening today before the maintenance where I would teleport to my fort and it would teleport me to the Travel passage, the first passage in the game. And then if I tried to teleport to the passage from another place, it would not let me, it would just disconnect me. If I tried to teleport to other passages, it would work. And it was kind of boring because I couldn't get to record some mage footage before making my video, which I really wanted to, but well, at least I could play with the sharpshooter a bit before these bugs started happening. Okay.
Recruit, good job on rescuing our officers.
If you have money, I got gear.
Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of those. Do I wanna gamble? That's the question now.
You come back with more coin.
I've got a lot of crit damage, as you see. For my level, 189 is not a bad option. It's a decent number. Let's see what is under-leveled. I'm not gonna worry about the other stuff for now. Let's just get level 10 and keep pumping those missions.
What's that? Dum Hero wants to help you.
By the way, what relic did I select? I selected a new Bane for this guy. I'm gonna be doing, instead of 8-legged allies like I did on the summoner builds, I'm gonna be doing a spread of death build. So I'm gonna have to be playing with chance to poison items, preferably. Finding the right item for the right relic sometimes ends up being a slow process while leveling. When you're doing endgame stuff, eventually you find an item of your level that's one-handed or two-handed based on what you prefer playing, that gives you chance to apply the element you need, and then you can kind of synergize it and get that proc working. And that's all of the customization comes to, in a nutshell, synergizing the right item with the right relic skill, with the right legendarium combos. And of course with the right skills for that item. But it's sometimes obvious what skill you want to be using with which unique item. They made them super nice and descriptive, and you just see this item boosts this skill. Okay, I'm gonna be using this skill when I have that item, and try and make a build centered around that skill with it. So that's kind of the simplicity of it, which I really enjoy. It's very straightforward. It's not like other games don't do this as well. Many other games do it, a certain item would give you a stronger effect or a different effect on a certain skill that you might wanna build around.
You have gained a level.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now the problem is this thing here. That's my biggest problem. I really wish it wasn't there. I really wish I didn't need it there. Let's try playing like this at first. We'll see how it works. Alternatively, I might have to get rid of shield car. But getting rid of shield car would mean I'm gonna need to get that damage reduction from hammer spin tier 2. No, tier... Wow, that's tier 3. That's 7 more points. That is a lot of investment just to get that. My biggest problem right now with this game is they put the bloody minus 20% relic active skill cooldown on flamethrower car on the best trained car, which is at level 20. Which I understand putting flamethrower car at level 20. It used to be the strongest of them all for damage. Shotgun was okay when the enemies are up close, but this one was pretty underwhelming before. This one was my favorite for flame builds, and it's understandable that it's level 20, but putting that minus 20-second relic skill cooldown there, I don't understand why they did it. All the other heroes have it in level 5 or level 10 skills, if I'm not mistaken. So why does the Railmaster have to wait up to level 20 to get that bonus? And it's a tier 2 bonus, so it actually might not be level 20 but level 26 if he didn't save up stuff like 6 skill points or 5 skill points more. What? Ah shit, why am I on normal? Man, this bug has not been fixed. I'm in someone else's game now and it's normal. And this is... Please tell me when I go inside there I'm not gonna be with that guy's difficulty, but I'm gonna be on my difficulty. See, I play on ridiculous and then suddenly it teleports me into someone else's match in fucking normal. This bullshit. Now I have to go get the waypoint because I'm gonna go to character selection. I don't want to play on this shitty difficulty. So does this affect my badges? Would that affect my badge that everyone is seeing because the game teleported me into someone else's match? And see, I'm not in a party with him, but I can see him. And this is the biggest bullshit if it fucks up my badge, and then there's no way to retrieve my old one. Alright, let's hope that this no longer happens today. It should be on ridiculous now. Yeah, it is. Okay, I see. That's I noticed it was a little bit too easy. With those mobs in that zone. I mean, I wouldn't mind with that other guy getting teleported to my ridiculous game, but it keeps putting me into normal games or hard games. It never has put me into a game that's on ridiculous where someone else is in that game. Just a moment. 4 seconds. But yeah, I was wondering why it was a little bit too easy. with the kills. For a second I thought, wait, is Lantern Flash that strong? So I'm killing the enemy super quick. But then, yeah, see, now this makes more sense.
Your life is slipping away.
Alright, we're not gonna fight those, I just wanted to test my damage. It's still not enough. Come on, come on. Hopefully now I'm not into someone else's. Yeah, I'm not. Was that the dog jockey mission? Yeah, the dog jockey mission. Look at how many goblins are here. Alright, I couldn't move for a moment there. I'm trying to stack all the damage, all the weakness on him. I think I had a combo. I need to remember what the combo was. I think it was using Lantern Flash after the dynamite, not the other way around, but I gotta confirm. I think the dynamite did less damage than Lantern Flash in total, so it was better to use it first to make Lantern Flash do more damage. We'll have to read up on those skills in a moment after this fight. And yeah, this build right now won't be strong until I get this cooldown to at least like 2 seconds and maybe get some other skills. If I get rid of the shield car, I'm definitely gonna need hammer spin at level 10. Maybe now I should actually prioritize hammer spin level 10. But this 65% damage versus stunned, blinded or swallowed is also tempting. So by level 20 I would have this maxed out and this at level 6. I can probably remove that 1 point here for now. Let's say I take those 2 points away. That means I can get 3 points. 3 points. And I'm gonna need another 7 points. So let's say at level 17 I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna remove some points with respectacles or something. If I need respectacles, I can just farm end of act bosses. I guess it's worth it sometimes. Oh, I forgot to check. This is 76 damage. 6 seconds. This is 60% damage. So it seems like the dynamite before the flash is the better option. Would be nice if he's trying to use a basic attack when you don't have a cooldown ready on the skill you're trying to use.
You're nearly dead.
Ah, no. Right, he gave me 2 potions at least. So let's read again. Burn enemies for 76 weapon damage. But is that 76 weapon damage per second? Or is that a total of 76% weapon damage spread out during 6 seconds? What about this? 60% weapon damage. Oh, actually this one right now doesn't apply the damage debuff anyways. So it's definitely better to use blasting charge first. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rework the setup. Shield car might be unnecessary right now. Once they've added that damage reduction to hammer spin.
It's trapped.
So until level 17 we're gonna use this, then we're switching. And the game, Icefox, the game I'm enjoying, but I've always enjoyed this game. I've never had a moment where I wouldn't enjoy the game. I mean, there would be things I wouldn't like, but I'm still gonna enjoy playing the game even with the glitches and bugs that have been throughout the alpha and the beta. Now it's kind of something like a closed beta. I think this phase could be called a closed beta, the early access phase. Not closed beta, but open beta. This phase is kind of equal to an open beta phase. But instead of it being free to play, like normally what open beta is, it's a buy to play. So the buy to play equivalent of open betas is early access, I guess. Although there are some games do early access in alpha versions. I mean, I think Wosen was doing alpha early access, and I was playing Wosen alpha early access on Steam. So there's that. But there are definitely some things I wish weren't the way they were. And they're working on changing a lot of the stuff that the players don't like. You can always voice your opinions on the official feedback website on Note. And there's been a lot of activity recently there. People have been giving feedback, they have been reporting bugs. It's nice to see that people are active on Note. I just wish it was integrated within the game instead of forcing people to leave the game so they can report something or give you feedback about something. Oh no, I don't want to fight those, it's 2 of them. I don't have potions to fight those 2. Come on, die, goblins, die. Man, it's fooding me with elite enemies. I don't want to fight every single elite I encounter until I'm geared up and strong enough to kill them easily. Let's go see if there's a shrine over here. Yeah, there is.
Do they simply crave dominion over smaller creatures? Why not battle something their own size?
Look at how many are after me. And level up. There's so many here, but there's someone reviving them. That's a problem. Did I kill him? I think I did. Alright, I'm gonna try and speed through some of them. It gave me such a bad layout to fight this boss. Barely any room for kiting. And there's a second one of them. Now there's the healer as well. I wonder if I can pull him over here or whether he's gonna go back. And Manuel, welcome to the Struck Club. Thank you for the sub on YouTube. Really appreciate the help with growing my channel. Hope you enjoy your stay, and that is of course if you are watching. Look at that. That's a tough one. Only got 2 potions, so I'm trying to take as least damage as possible. It might be boring, but we gotta play safe. Oh, shoot car healed me? So shoot car's endurance effect might be healing. I'm starting to believe that shoot car active's endurance effect is healing. And it's not written because, I don't know, it's missing. It says that it heals per second, but probably the active skill of shoot car is to heal you at once. I'm not sure which one is. Oh, this one is Dog Jockey. Well, might as well kill the other one first. Who is the one with the blazing? It's the big one. Oh, and now we got some more stuff. Ah, fuck, blazing shooters, really? Really, in the worst possible time, I'm gonna get ranged enemies with blazing. This blazing modifier is too often. In Act 1, I'm seeing the blazing modifier much more often than I should be seeing that. I mean, aren't there more modifiers? There used to be double HP, there used to be so many other modifiers we can get. Now it seems like 70% of the modifiers on the monsters are either blazing or teleporting. And the rest are barely spawning. And now my boss is bugged, of course. It's not taking damage. How am I gonna unbug him? I think I'm gonna have to redo this mission because the boss seems to be invulnerable. I think the same bug happened that I saw 2 days ago with Nyx, with the Nyx boss, or maybe not. Is that Dog Jockey? No, that's the other guy.
You're badly hurt.
So let's see if I can damage him. Yeah, he seems to not be taking damage at all. It's like he's not here. Or maybe he's taking damage. Because I applied an effect on him. I applied some sort of bleeding or whatever on him. Oh, and now he's gone. That's where he is now. Yeah, a lot of stuff's happening around here. But my biggest problem is all the blazing modifiers around me. He's dying though. Alright, that one died. And this one's almost done finally. Phew. Took a while though, took a while as you saw. Maybe something nice would drop. No?
Your pet has returned.
Just what I needed, my pet to be back. Okay, let's give him stuff to sell. See, this duration for major shield buff from shield car is amazing. Okay, let's move. Still not sure which one to prioritize. And this one's better because this one's gonna give me damage against those enemies, and it's first of all it's gonna be more than the 20%, it's gonna be 65, and second it's gonna be actually not just with the relic skill but with other stuff like the busting charge as well. So for now I'm gonna prioritize leveling this, then eventually level this one to get that damage reduction, the relic active skill, and then eventually remove maybe the shield car. I'm going to the next zone now. What's happening here? I think I'm going the right way. Hopefully it's here. Two of those shrines, okay. Wish I could stack them and get them to be proccing at the same time. Oh wow, explosive. Did not see this. So now the question is... Fuck. Right, we're gonna talk about the question in a moment. That's not the way I need to go. The question is, do I wanna level up my Bane damage for Venomous Maw, or do I wanna upgrade my Bane damage or chance for the spread of death? That's the question. %30 chance. I'm probably gonna upgrade the chance to 50%, to 55%. Although I'm thinking of probably maybe taking a different relic for this guy later. If I get the cooldown low enough. Because Bane and Blood-Drinker are the ones with the lowest cooldown. So those obviously would go well for when you want to be using the active skill more often. And my idea is to use it instead of a basic attack, because I don't want to be making a basic attack build. I want to try the Spike Drive Pound build as well, but for that I'm going to need a special item. So until then I'm going to be trying the new skill to see how strong the new skill is. I've never played with it, not even once, so really excited about that skill. Never got to leveling another Railmaster, even with the cheat NPCs in the beta, to try that skill. I did level all 3 others in the beta multiple times on some, but the Railmaster only before they added this skill. And the other thing I'm missing is I could end up making another Ghost Train skill, Ghost Train build. Just the thing is, Ghost Train is now in the Conductor tree, so it's getting bonuses from Conductor damage, not from Slammer damage, and that kind of messes with things. Because if I want a strong Ghost Train, I'm gonna need that extra 20% damage here as a passive. We're also gonna need that cooldown reduction on this one. Wait, this one is not on cooldown anymore. Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, it's not a cooldown, so that's probably not gonna be needed. But crit chance for conductor skills is nice. Oh, look at this one. Tier 3 bonus, it's not even there. Third rail, what is third rail? Is third rail the active skill? Third rail. Anyways, enough of the conductor. I'm gonna be doing mostly AoEs. Level 12, nice. It knocked them back, didn't it? I really need some way of gaining those charges faster. I'm not a fan of how slow my charges are. But yeah, as I said earlier, this early access is still a beta phase. It's still a beta phase. It may not officially be called an open beta, but it's still a beta phase. It still has bugs. It still has missing content. So if you're not ready to play a beta version of the game, just wait a few months or wait until whenever the launch would be. They have estimated that they will be finished by the end of this year. Whether the game would need to get delayed again, that remains to be seen. I personally don't mind delays as long as the game launches in a nice state. That's fine. So if they need more time and the game is not ready by the end of the year, I will understand it. But so far they haven't said anything about that. They're still on track, I think, with the launch within this year. So we've got 6 months. At best it will be 3-4 months, and we would get it around the end of summer or the beginning of autumn. But again, I'd much rather get the game ready and launch launch it when it's ready, rather than rushing like Wilson did and launching a game that has many bugs, exploits and whatever else you might want to think of. And Extra knows that. Extra Games is a team that knows that a bad launch is bad forever. It really hurts people. Max Schaefer has said it in an interview a few months ago, how important it is to make sure you launch your game when it's ready. And this game has not been launched, and that's the problem. Some people don't realize it, but that's not a launch. That's an early access release, not a launch. I mean, you have games that stay in early access for years, like Wilson. Wilson again. That game started as an early access alpha on Steam. It was very bad at the very first few months or weeks of alpha. Then eventually the game started getting better and better, and then eventually they decided to delete all the progress from the alpha and to completely change their direction of the development of the game. And this is what kind of ruined the whole game. Because they were promising one thing at first, and then the beta compared to the alpha in Wilson was like two different games. It was like two different games. One of them had an open world, and you had some amazing interaction between the environment and the monsters and the player. And then in the Wilson beta first, they got rid of the open world. You could only do some endgame multiplayer maps in the beta, some endless maps. And then eventually they added Act 1 of the story, which was not better than what it could have been if they stuck to their original design. with the open world. But I'm thinking that the problem for them was the Cry engine. They chose a very bad engine for an ARPG. Visually good, but probably so many problems. I remember some time ago when Wilson was still in alpha, there were some articles and there were some news about them having problems with the engine and having to transition from one version to another. Some things not working like they want them to. So maybe that was the main reason why they shifted their whole game design from one version to the other. But they had a good idea, and then that good idea died out with the beta. And the beta was actually Alpha 2.0. That was kind of the Wilson beta, an Alpha 2.0. And the launched version of Wilson was beta, actually. If you can call it like that, I think you won't be wrong. Let's see here. Tough choices. I'm probably gonna use that for a while until it breaks. Just a moment, need some tea. Now is the right time to say hello to everyone who came in the past few minutes that I haven't spoken to. I'm gonna loot my chest and see who has been here. For example, Shinitu and Christopher are the people that I didn't say hi to. I was actually answering Christopher's question about open beta, but I forgot to mention, so apologies for that. As you can see, this class feels a bit weak early on in the first few levels, and that might be because of the direction I'm experimenting with the build. I'm testing certain things, but I'm telling you, once I get all the things I want, once I get all the synergies and I get good items that upgrade the build I want to be making, we're gonna be seeing some improvements. We're gonna be seeing some damage, we're gonna be seeing some survivability along with it. But that won't happen until level 17. And even at level 17 I'm gonna need to use Respectacles to get some points. Thankfully I saved up some, but the problem is the ones I saved up were on other heroes. So I only have one, meaning I can probably get rid of 2 skills if, and that's a big if I get another Respectacle before 17. Someone was telling me you get Respectacles every 5 levels. I don't think that might be the case now, but the developers are saying that they would look into making those drop more often and be more accessible. Because, see, this was balanced for when you had contracts. When you had contracts, you can get Respectacles farmed easily with those contract levels. And it made sense. And the same goes for Scrolls of Unbinding. You could farm those by completing contracts at a steady pace. But when they removed the contracts, those things obviously needed to be rebalanced. And the drop rates needed to be boosted so you have a higher chance of getting them, and yeah, I'm sure they've realized this by now. I've seen multiple people talking about this on Note already, so it's gonna get their attention. And Note is a great system to provide feedback, report bugs, and to see what people want to upvote and downvote. What people feel is important at this state of development. Keep in mind, when you're adding feedback and stuff in Note, consider how much time they would need to spend on working on a new feature that you think might be cool, and what that would mean if they focus their attention on that feature. What would it mean for the other features that are kind of like the core design and stuff like that. For example, many people want fishing. I want fishing in the game too, but right now it's not good for them to work on fishing. They have other things that I would much rather have before the game launches, such as completed acts, completed endgame modes, and maybe a second endgame mode if there's time. Fishing is good and fun and all, but it's probably better off left for post-launch. Probably better left for post-launch as an expansion one or a DLC one or whatever you want to call it, when they do have the free time to work on new features that are not core elements of the game, not major systems. But fishing would be a great way to obtain not just things like a pet fish system, but maybe fishing for resources like the things we gather around the map. Some people mentioned that it might be worth it to replace the whole gathering system, and instead of having to do, let me try and find something to gather. Instead of having to smash some rocks or chop down some trees, to just go to a fishing spot and just start fishing and get those materials from there. But that's very RNG. If you're unlucky, you might not get the material you want from the fishing spot. Pretty RNG. It's probably good later, as I said, as an additional system, to have an additional way of obtaining certain things. But again, think of the time they would need to spend on such a system, and that time would mean they're not spending it on other things that might be more important, more useful to us at this point of the game's development. But I also am one of the people who wouldn't mind seeing fishing eventually in the game. Akvila, this game is not released. This game releases sometime later this year, probably autumn or winter. So you can't call this game released. Wosen was in early access for 3, 4, maybe 5 years, I can't remember. And Wosen released after a few years of early access. This game just started the early access phase. So Wosen actually had a real launch, and Wosen had no excuse for having that many bugs and glitches and untested content. So people need to learn what an early access release is, and what an actual game release and launch is. Like, yeah, early access is the beginning of the open access to the game. It's kind of like an open beta, but you have to pay to participate. Whereas in free-to-play games, open beta is the equivalent of early access, where you don't have to pay to get it. That's the only difference between that open beta and early access. And sometimes early access, as I said a few minutes ago, sometimes early access is alpha. You start from the super early stages on the game, like for example what Wosen did. The thing is, this game is a popular franchise, and it got a lot of people wanting to get in the servers, and there were things that they said they couldn't predict. There's so much you can, I can tell you what the project lead said in the Discord channel. They said that there's only so much simulating user fooding the servers with bots can do. Because one system seemed to have been doing fine when they were simulating with bots, but then when actual people start logging, it seems to do something. Then another system that was giving them different results has also been doing fine, and so on. So basically, some things you can predict, some things you can't predict when it comes to servers and stuff like that. And that kind of is true. But for me, even Wosen, I didn't care about the disconnects. What was terrible with Wosen was the amount of content that never got tested. Act 3, Act 2, 1/3 of the passive tree, 16 out of 40 skills total. All of that never was given to the beta testers in Wosen before the game launched. So yeah, this game had a bumpy 2 days when it got that early access start. But again, people need to learn what early access is supposed to be. It's a phase where the community can be a part of the development process. They can pay to get the game for cheaper than on launch. So you're getting the game cheaper, but you're getting a buggy game. You're getting an unfinished game, and you have to be fine with that, or you can just get it and keep it in your library and just play it in a few months when it's ready. Those developers definitely know what they're doing. Believe me, I've been with this game for 14 months. 14 months, and within those 14 months, I've seen how much they care about what we think of their game. For example, I'm gonna give you few examples of how things changed. The skill system, the very first version of the skill system I played was atrocious. You had to kill monsters to get skill points, and you had to spend those skill points to level up the skills. And at certain point, the more you level up skills, the more expensive it got to buy another skill, even if it was a new skill. And you could buy passives, you could buy actives as well. It was so boring. It was the worst skill system I have seen in a game, and they changed that. They changed that to another skill system, which was kind of more Diablo 2 style skill system, where you had to spend points into a certain skill to unlock another one further down the tree, and so on. But this also didn't feel right. It felt outdated. Having to spend points into skills that you don't want only to unlock a certain skill that's further down the tree felt wrong. And now they made it even better, even more freedom. It gives you so much more freedom. Yeah, you need a certain level to unlock a certain skill before you can spend points in that skill, but you don't have to spend points in the other skills before it if you don't want to. For example, I really want to get that minus 20% relic active skill cooldown here. And this is good. This is good. I can get it. I'm not going to be using the skill, but I'm going to be using the passive. And they have this system with the passive tiers. When you're spending points into a certain skill, you unlock certain bonuses. And this is a nice system. I really like it. There's a few ways where I can see how the system could be better. But in general, it's a very nice system. Then there's the relic system that also got reworked. First you had an extra item slot here in the inventory where you had to put the relic weapon, and when you activate the relic weapon, actually when you wear the relic weapon, it used to level up, and it used to go to a specific level, like up to level 50 something or so, and the relics were specific to a specific frontier. And they were giving bonuses specific to that frontier, I guess. You could only use them for that frontier or something like that. It's been so long that I've kind of forgotten. But when you activate the relic, it used to replace your weapon, and you couldn't attack with your basic weapon attacks. You couldn't see your weapon. If you were wearing a shield, that meant your shield was getting unequipped, and that was super bad. And they replaced it. They made the relic weapons to relics. Which was again, as I said, kind of based on feedback people have given them, that things don't feel right. And after they changed the relic weapons to relics, they reworked their skill tree. They actually added skill trees to them, because they before didn't have skill trees. They just had that one effect you get when you activate it, and that was it. Now we have passives, we have procs. We have a lot of things we can get from those relics now. You can have a small part of the build actually relying on the relic. And you can go for a basic attack build, you can go for a relic active skill build, you can go for a spamming relic skill build. And what I didn't like is before we needed to spend 5 points in total to unlock this. Then we need to have 10 points spent in total to unlock this, and then like 15 points spent total to unlock this, and 20 points spent total to unlock this bonus. They removed this, thankfully. I've been constantly sending feedback that this feels bad the way it was, and now we have more freedom. If I don't want to spend points into this and focus on that one and that one, or that one and that one, or those two, I don't need to. I don't need to spend on the ones before a skill if I don't want them. And that's amazing. See, that's just examples of how people really are shaping the game. And you can buy the game and be a part of the community that gives feedback and helps the developers make a decent game that everyone could like, or everyone who is part of that community could like. Or you can just wait for other people to do that, and then you can buy the game and play it when it's ready. I mean, it's kind of hard to make a game that absolutely everyone would like. For example, there's people that don't like the cartoonish graphics. There's people who would say, "Fuck, this looks shitty. This like Fortnite graphics." But then there's people who have been playing World of Warcraft with that type of cartoonish shader for more than what, 10, 15, 16 years or whatever it has been. It's been a while. I think it's been 10 years though, or something like that. So there are people who don't care about that, but they care about the gameplay. Some people want it to look like Path of Exile and Diablo, but you can't expect Torchlight to look like Path of Exile and Diablo. It's just a different world, it's a different universe. Actually, the main reason why two of the creators of Diablo, 2 out of the 3 people who created Diablo actually created the Torchlight series. And they wanted something that is not Diablo, something that is different than Diablo in the same genre, but the opposite of the same genre. And that's how Torchlight 1 and 2 came to be. In some interviews, Max Schaefer has said that when they started making Torchlight 1, they really wanted to make something that is not Diablo. And they've actually done a splendid job with Torchlight 1 and 2. And I might say this one is shaping up okay. There's things that I didn't like in Torchlight 2. And they've done those things better here. There's also things that didn't exist in Torchlight 2 that they've added in this game, such as the Legendarium. The Legendarium is like the Kanai Cube in Diablo 3. To those of you who have played Diablo 3, you would know what I'm kind of referring to. A system that allows you to get certain items' powers without having to wear those items. It's very good for when you're leveling up and you get that very strong legendary, but then you end up spending a lot of time leveling, and then you find out that the weapon or whatever is no longer worth wearing. You can sacrifice it, salvage it, and then just get its power and use it in the Legendarium rather than wear it. And this is amazing. I think many games need a similar system.
Now, with that out of the way, it's time to put down this strong tusk. Report back once the
After 20 years of playing Diablo-style games, well, I've been playing for 20 years too, and I haven't been playing only Diablo-style games. I've been playing Diablo, I've been playing Sacred, I've been playing Dungeon Siege. In fact, I don't really care whether it's cartoonish graphics or not. I don't care if it has blood or not. I'm not shallow to think that the graphics is everything to a game. I play 8-bit and 16-bit games as well, and I don't mind it. I don't mind the pixel graphics as well. If the game has enough build variety, if a game has enough item options that I can experiment with and have the weird builds. Even if it was 8-bit, 16-bit pixel game, I probably would be playing it. I mean, I'm not probably, I surely would be playing it. If someone makes something like this game, but with the 16-bit graphics, I would definitely enjoy it. But if you don't like something about the game, you can always send feedback. You can say, hey, I like what you're doing with this system, but I think that system could be better. You can always give them feedback, and they're gonna read it. They're not gonna ignore the feedback. I mean, I can tell you how much they care about the game. A month ago or so, they invited me and 12, 13 or so other people, streamers, moderators from the official channel and so on, YouTube content creators, other people that have been in the community for a while. And they showed us some previews, some certain things, and then they asked us, what do you think about this system? We will be making this system soon. Do you think this would be good enough? And they asked us for feedback. I can't give you more details, but they asked us for feedback for an upcoming endgame mode. And I haven't heard about other developers who have done this, who have invited various people from the community, shown them a preview of what's to come, and ask them about feedback based on that preview. I can tell you about two companies that are amazing. This company and 11th Hour Games. 11th Hour Games is the developers of Last Epoch. And if you like the Diablo 2 style, the Diablo 2 atmosphere, the grim and dark atmosphere, you might want to look into Last Epoch in a few months when they fix the FPS issues. Right now, the major problem of the game is it's having problems optimizing it. And even people with 2080, 2070 Nvidia cards are having serious FPS drops. But Last Epoch definitely is gunning for the Path of Exile player base and people who love the Grim Dawn and Diablo 2 atmosphere. Yeah, Last Epoch is definitely a game worth supporting a team like that. Because Last Epoch is the only team that other than Ectro that I've seen being this active and talkative to their community. You can see in the Discord channel for Last Epoch how much they communicate. You can see in the official Last Epoch forums how often the developers end up writing in those posts, in the posts that other people doing and participating in the discussions. I think I'm getting a bug because I remember getting lakeside clearing and now I don't have it, which means I'm gonna have to run all the way there again. And I remember using the waypoint of lakeside clearing to come back to my base. Unless I use my own waypoint, but they might be having problems with the traveling again. And by the way, if anyone wants to play together, let me know. We can play together on Ridiculous. I'm just checking on Discord what they've written, just making sure there aren't any problems. Alright, let's run back to where we were. But I'm loving all the weird things that some of the classes in this game have. Especially this guy. This guy is amazing. And playing the AoE master version of him, the Slammer, is perfect. The AoE knockdown stuff, the stun knockdown AoE warrior or whatever you wanna call it, that kind of playstyle. I love it. Not that big of a fan of playing with the train, but I know the train is fun as well. I've made throughout those many months, I've made I've made some fun builds with the train, especially with the flamethrower car and the fire relic. It's a good synergy between the two. I only wish, there's one thing I wish they would change, and I've always said it when I was writing feedback, might as well write it on note again, that it makes no sense the way they're doing the limitations of the train. They're making it so that you can't combine mortar car with flamethrower car. And that makes no sense because those are both fire damage cars. You should be able to combine the two fire damage cars in a single build. I think they should get rid of the fucking annoying mechanic where you can't use one car with another and just make it a limit of 2 or 3 cars. I think the limit right now is 3. You can use one of those two and you can use one of those two. And then you can use this one separately. And together with the main car. So I think they should first get rid of build train as a skill that you put in your skill bar and just have it as a passive. And just activate it with the press of a button that's not on your skill bar and deactivate it with the press of that button again. Then they should make it so that you can have 1, 2, 3, 4. So out of those 4 cars you get 2. And this one, if they want it to be like that, maybe could be the 3rd car. Or maybe just make it out of all those 5 cars, pick 3. Pick 3 of those 5 cars and use those 3. If you won't use this one and this one, if you won't use this one and this one, if you won't use those 3 or those 3, whatever combination one might want. I don't think it's gonna be too overpowered if someone uses shotgun car and shield car. It's a build, Get them close to you and get that damage reduction to help you while the enemies get obliterated by the shotgun. I don't think that's gonna be super duper mega OP. It's just gonna be one type of a build that right now we can't do. And it's gonna be a fun build nevertheless. Then mortar and flamethrower car would really be an amazing build, and I've wanted that since update 7. We're already on update 11, so that's been like probably 5 months or 6 months ago, maybe even before that. I think it was last year when we got the Railmaster, when I immediately wanted to make a build with the 2 burning skills, and I couldn't, and I still can't. But this is the weirdest hero I've seen in an ARPG as a mechanic, so it's undergone a lot of changes. A lot of the mechanics of a lot of skills changed, and it's understandable that it takes them a while to get it right with many of the things with a class as weird as this one, especially with the trains. The trains have been so glitchy at first, and they still are kind of glitchy. You might end up getting stuck somehow, or I don't know. Some people don't like the speed of the train, so they kind of made it a little bit faster. I also didn't like how slow it used to be before. Now it's kind of okay, but it still feels kind of sluggish sometimes. That's why I don't play it. The main reason I don't play it is first the build train skill is super annoying that I have to use it. Right, relic level up. But when you level up this character, when you invest enough skill points into specific skills and get good items, you're gonna see how fun it is. Regardless whether you're with a train or not, you're gonna be obliterating stuff. And that's for every hero. I've noticed such a good balance in certain areas. Yeah, some heroes used to be much more powerful than others. Poor Forged. Forged used to be always the weakest, and it seems like right now in early levels the Forged and the Railmaster might be a bit weaker than the others. But when you gear them up, I've seen the Forged do amazing things, melting bosses, especially with Furnace Blast and Sonic Pulse and the Fracking Strike. It can be strong with the right items. And that's me testing without even having legendarium items of the right type. So I can only imagine how much more stronger I can get it to be than what I was, so with the right items in the Legendarium slots. Let me check again on the chat. But yeah, that's right. For now, I've never been shy to say that this game is my favorite ARPG right now, and that's including games like Diablo 2 and Sacred 2. Actually, I loved Sacred 2 more than Diablo 2. I can admit that. I love the story more. I love the designs more. I love the sets more. I love the enemies more. I love the dual blades or whatever, those elven blades or what. But I was a teenager back then. So what a teenager loved back then might be different what me as an adult might like if I were to play those games for the first time now. There's some things I always loved about Diablo 2, and there's some things that I think have aged very badly. And it's the best game in the genre apparently, but there are things that really don't age well about it. I'm not a fan of having to grind for hours and hours and hours to get a character leveled up. And I'm also not a fan of having big set bonuses, which limit kind of the options to the player when they want to make a certain build. Thankfully in Diablo you had very strong unique items in Diablo 2 compared to Diablo 3, but Diablo 3 ruined sets. It made it get that set, play that skill, you're done. Get that set, play that skill, you're done. Diablo 3 made it so bad. In Diablo 2 at least it wasn't that bad. You had options, you could probably take some unique items. And in this game they're not doing that with sets. They're doing that the set bonus comes at 3 pieces. Even though the set is 6 pieces, you select 3 pieces of the set and just combine the ones you want. And then you can combine 2 sets and have the bonuses of 2 separate sets applied. And this is a lot of diversity when it comes to how you want to build with legendary items and sets. And since there's 3 sets, you might even go one up it and put 3 items of another set in the legendarium and get bonuses from those. And the good thing about it is each item has a different set bonus. So yeah, you get 3 items from a certain set, but each one of those items is getting stronger when you have 2 more pieces equipped. Instead of you getting a bonus by having 3 items equipped. That's a global set bonus. And that's a very nice way of handling sets. They're calling it soft sets, or at least they used to be calling them soft sets when they first announced how these mechanics would work. And combining the soft sets, combining the unique items with the legendarium where you can put more soft sets or more unique items, together with relic weapons, together with the skills, makes up for a very nice experience. And I'm a big fan of only having 6 skills to use. I don't want to have to play the piano in a game. If I want to, I can go play games like Aeon or other MMOs where you have 2, 3, 4 skill bars that you constantly have to change, and have the APM of a Korean StarCraft master to be able to play those games effectively. I definitely don't have the APM from 10 years ago. So I much rather prefer games that give me enough options and customization, but also don't make me use more than 6, 7 or 8 skills at the same time. This one is good, very good balance, only 6 skills. Still gives me enough variety, still makes me make hard decisions. Do I want to invest into this skill, or do I want to invest into another one? Do I want to get this skill just for 1 point or 3 points or 6 points, or do I want to go all the way for the 10-point bonus? I think the customization options are here. People just need to experiment, and most people aren't even giving the game the time it deserves to be tested. I'm gonna test this great sword. Because most of the stuff of this game is not on the surface, it's beneath the surface, and you kind of have to get you kind of have to spend a few hours playing the game. Get one hero to at least level 20 something, and get those major systems tested. The problem is, even if you get a hero up to level 20 something, you're never gonna get the right items this quickly. And without an endgame mode, people get bored, which I understand. I mean, it was fine while we had map works, and people probably wouldn't get bored quickly, but I know why they removed the map works. I think they just didn't want people in the early access to see the map works and to say, oh, such a terrible, shallow endgame mode. And that's probably what they thought people would think, and might be the reason why they removed the map works before the new endgame is ready. But when it is ready, it will be amazing. Whether it will be enough, I'm kind of skeptical here, because I think an ARPG game nowadays needs at least two different, distinctively different endgame activities that you can do once you complete the story. Two is my bare minimum. My bare minimum is having two different endgame activities. If a game has that on launch, it would keep me busy, and it would allow me to switch between one activity and another activity to farm for my items and for my consumables. And I wouldn't feel bad about it. But if it's just one, it would get boring very fast, and it would become a tedious experience. And I've already written feedback about this, and so hopefully they would consider adding some sort of thing to do other than the upcoming endgame. And Juba Brofisho, very interesting pun there, Brofisho. Do you have a build for sharpshooter? I do. I can give you a build for sharpshooter, but it's not meta. If you want a meta build, I can also tell you a meta build. Meta build would be using... I'm gonna go after this this map to show you. But meta build would be using, I think it's called precision shot or something. The one where you're shooting three shots in a row. I'm gonna quickly out and tap and check the name of the skill. So sharpshooter, the name of the skill for the so this is single target high damage single target build for bosses, not as good for mobbing. You want targeted strikes, and you might want to get reward, so you can spam more targeted strikes. Then you might want to get the pet, a Royal Shasta, just to be taunting the enemies to make them take 50% more damage. And you really want Ghost Visage. Ghost Visage, you can probably only use 3 points for Ghost Visage, or maybe even 6 points if you feel like it, but 3 points is more than enough. Because Ghost Visage allows you to not get as much crit chance in your items. What I was playing Onslaught Summoner build. I was playing Goblin Legion, Onslaught, Royal Shasta, and the Bane Relic active skill together with Curse of PP. But Curse of PP I was just getting to 6 points for the chance to return ammo. Instead of Curse of PP you might want to consider Rizzy's Fate, so for extra damage to Blinded, Sword or Stunt. And the Curse of PP also helped me make the damage reduction stacking. I could get the enemies to do 30% less damage with Curse of PP. But the more summoner oriented one would be Rizzy's Fate. But if you want the pure damage version, maxed out targeted strikes, reload, either maxed out or 6 points, and you want where did it go? Fuck. You might want crit chance for precision skills in Scout's Bones. You might want to get that, but but it's optional, I guess. But definitely goes Visage. But this would be for single target. Heartseeker also isn't that bad. You might want to experiment with it, but it again is for like piercing straight line setup. So hopefully that helps you figure out stuff. And regardless of what hero you play, if you get a relic weapon with short cooldown of that active skill, which would be the Bane and the Blood Drinker. The Bane and the Blood Drinker here have 8 seconds base cooldown. So that means when you get 50% cooldown reduction, that's 4 seconds. If you get another 20% from skills, like this one, that gets the skill down to 3 seconds cooldown. From no, actually it's not gonna be, it's gonna be to 2.5 seconds, because this one is base of 8. So base of 8 seconds with 70% cooldown, you just make the maths. And if you get another item that gives you cooldown reduction, you can get some items like that give you like a sword or an offhand or a shield that gives you X% relic active skill cooldown. That means you can spam this skill. I've got it at 1.5 seconds on my sharpshooter, and it's amazing. It's actually my main source of damage. I'm not using Onslaught or my pets for the main source of damage. What I do on my sharpshooter is I use the pet to taunt, the wolf. The wolf taunts them, the goblins surround the enemies to prevent them from moving much, and then I spam Onslaught and Venomous Maw, Onslaught and Venomous Maw. And I have spiders from my Venomous Maw as well, because I'm playing with the Summoner Bane on my sharpshooter. And it works, but for the sharpshooter you would want this to be 10 points. You would want this to be 10 points, you would want this to be 10 points, and once you have 10, first of all you want this 10 points, then you want this 10 points, next you get 10 points here, and then once you're level 30 you start putting points into the chance for the spiders. That's what I would do for a summoner build. For a non-summoner build I would get 10 points here, probably 10 points here, then 10 points here, and probably 10 points here. And then I'm not gonna say after level 40, because we are still in early access and they don't have leveling after level 40 in this version of the game would be painful. It would take a long time, and it would not be worth spending your time doing that to get past level 37, 8, maybe 40 in this version of the game. In a few months, when they add Act 3, when they add contracts, when they add an endgame mode, then I can see people going for level 60. For now, my advice is test as many heroes, as many builds. You have 10 character slots, that means you can have 2 of each hero and still have 2 more extra heroes to try with different builds. A lot of stuff can be done. Even if you want to play just the same hero, you can just make a second version of it, complete the story once again, and then just play a completely different build. So let's see what's here. Let's see if there's anything in the chat. Do you have a video with this build? No, I can make a video with the build. I didn't think people would want unfinished builds for the early access. I can make it tomorrow. If you want a build video for this, I'm assuming maybe other people might want it. I can make a build video, but for now I can probably just log in after this map on my sharpshooter just to show you. I guess people are showing interest in videos for this stage of the game. I can make the build video, and I can also tell you in the build video which items to get, not which items to get, but which skills to get first and which skills to get afterwards. Might be a good decision to mention that too. And Juba, BR official, bro official. I see what you did there again. Thank you for the YouTube sub, dude. Really appreciate helping me grow my channel. So yeah, I'm gonna do that video for you and anyone else who wants it tomorrow. I will have some time tomorrow before my stream to do the video. Today I was busy with a beginner's guide, which ended up being 92 minutes. I've never done such a big guide for a game, but there are so many things in this game that need explaining. So many systems, so many little things that many new people may not know, that the game really needed such a long guide. I mean, I probably could have talked less in detail and made it to like 50 minutes, probably, but I end up going into a lot of details when I explain stuff, and feel free to watch it if you want to know about certain things, and in the description I've put timestamps. So if you only want to know about items and relics, you can only watch those segments without watching the whole behemoth of a video. If anyone wants the link for that video, I can post it after this map, but it's on my YouTube channel, which is that should be my YouTube channel. The command is not working on my mixer because my mixer bot kind of had been reset, so I need to add the commands. I'm gonna post it on Mixer in a moment to those of you watching there, so you can see my channel. But the build was definitely fun. I can show you in a moment me killing the final boss of Act 2 with that build, with a mediocre staff. I was using 260 damage staff of a lower level than the one I was doing, and later I equipped a 400 and something staff. So definitely the difference was huge. Okay, we finally get that damage. So just a second to copy that link for everyone on Mixer. So just a second, folks, I'm gonna show you a video that I recorded today. I remembered I had that video, so might as well show it. Torchlight 3 raw files, beginner's guide. Where is that? Sadista, there we go. Now how do I share this window? VLC window capture, VLC. It's capturing my Explorer. Yeah, it doesn't want to capture it. It's not letting me capture VLC. Alright, let's try this one. Where did it go? G. So this is me on the build I was telling you about, with the shitty stuff. It's a legendary stuff, but that legendary stuff, as I said, was kind of under level. So you're seeing it's not bad burst wise, but it's not as good as a build with targeted shots and reload. But it still allows me to do some damage, and when I get the wolf next to her to keep taunting her, and when I get the goblins, I can just spam my onslaught and my bane, and it does fine. Of course, probably someone would have killed her 2 times by now with a meta build, with a good weapon, and my weapon with 260 power. Later on I equipped the weapon with 481 power and I couldn't believe the the damage. So if I had the 400 and something weapon on this boss fight, of course it would have been much faster. But mind you, I'm level 32, so this is 31, so it's kind of okay. Still slightly one level above her. But again, my gear was kind of mediocre throughout this fight, so you can see kind of how a build like that could be viable. So I can make that video. If you're really interested, if you like what you're seeing here, then I can make it. Also, you can tank a little bit more with this build, because you're making the boss do 30% less damage with what I've put on my number 4. Okay, let's stop it, let's not show you the end, but if you want you can watch until the end. It's almost over, might as well keep it until the end. It's not like I died or something, so let's just keep it so you can see how it works. You can see how I intentionally soak up some of the damage that she does to me. I'm not kiting all the time. I realized I can afford to do that. Sometimes I dodge, but other times I just let her. And she dropped her spectacles, by the way. Lucky drop there. Alright, let's remove this VOC source and go back. So that's the build I was talking about in action. I can show you some of the skills in a moment. After this map I can walk on onto the hero, so you can see what passives and active skills I've been using. But sharpshooter is great. I mean, sharpshooter feels amazing. You're now level 11. By the way, another thing that you might not have immediately and you might want to farm is the thing I'm using, Egg of Wonder. Egg of Wonder allows me to cast a second relic active skill when I use my relic active skill. So you can see I'm using the spider, but along with the spider it casts a second relic active skill. And this is probably the item I would be using on almost every build of mine that uses a relic active skill. If you're level 11 and you play on Ridiculous, we can actually play together. I wouldn't mind that. $48, $50, okay. That's a spare one, I'm gonna keep it, 18%. Stay there. 37 wifebound versus 44, okay, we don't need that. The main thing now is for me to not die. I really want not to die and to get those boots in my legendarium. Oh, the item I was talking about is this one. I mentioned Egg of Wonder. This is the item. You want that item. If you're using a build where you're using often the relic active skill, you can see how I'm using the spider and it does the sword. Now I'm using the spider and it does the spinning blade. And it can do all the other ones. See, another spinning blade. It has a chance to do all of the other relic abilities. I mean, it just did 3 spinning blades in a row. It's pretty RNG. But it does all of them. You've noticed probably doing the whitenings or the ice one. And I was using the same thing on the video you saw. I was using a different Bane, but I was using a Bane. But it doesn't have to be a Bane. You can use a Blood Drinker as well as a main one. The Blood Drinker and the Bane seem to be the ones with the lowest cooldown, which is why I recommend those as relics for a build like that one. Also, the Bane has a very nice damage, and poison stacks more than once. Poison stacks more than once, whereas with bleeding and burning you can only have one stack of those, unless they changed it, but I don't think they did. I'm gonna skip this. I'm really gonna skip this. I've watched it so many times. If anyone wanted to see this, sorry, but I really watched so many times that same sequence, and the voiceover really needs to be boosted a little bit. I need to do something here. I missed one pylon up there somewhere. Okay, let's go there. And J Montastic, thank you as well, dude, on Twitch for the follow. Welcome to the Struck Club to you as well. Nice to have you here. This one is one of my favorite cutscenes. I'm not gonna skip this one. This boss used to be much harder. Those things like crystals that are channeling, they were removed yesterday and the day before. Maybe they added those again. He used to have some phases which now have been removed, or at least used to be removed yesterday and before that. You can see my damage is much better now that I've got Lantern Flash to level 6. That's 65% extra damage. 65% extra damage to Blinded Sword. Was it stunned? Blinded Sword or stunned targets. And thank you, Juba Brofisho, for following me on Twitch as well. Appreciate that again, buddy. Now I'm gonna start pumping points into Hammer Spin because I want that damage reduction. I want to get rid of my train and be the slammer, the AoE Master 2.0, as I might probably call the build. Slam Master J.
You can't carry anymore.
He's gonna be bringing the funk. Deadlier Strikes. Deadlier Strike is amazing. If you can take it on your pets, get it. It's totally worth it as an aura, Deadlier Strikes. If you don't have Deadlier Strikes, the second best in my opinion, if you want survivability, would be the block chance one, even if you don't use a shield. But the movement speed is perfect for when you're speedrunning, when you don't care whether you have crit chance or not. For example, on a sharpshooter, if you have a lot of crit chance and you have the blink, the Ghost Visage, you probably won't need all that crit chance on her. If your gear gives you like 20, 30, 35, then you definitely won't need that extra 15. If you're using the Ghost Visage Nice, then you might go for more movement speed to be clearing maps more often. Or you might want to get the block chance for survivability. The stun I really like, but my ideal setup for summoners would be Healing Friendship, the stun, and the Necro Pupper. Or you could even remove the stun and just Healing Friendship and the Necro Pupper for a summoner build, and then Deadlier Strikes. The thing is, I'm not sure whether Deadlier Strikes applies to other summons like spiders and netherlings. I've definitely seen that the pet doesn't get the Deadlier Strikes himself, I think. There's something like that. Need to test that more. Let's leave this place. It's 37 minutes past midnight. So unfortunately I'm gonna have to stop streaming in a moment, but if anyone wants to play together Ridiculous, I'm level 14 as you can see. We can team up. If you're behind me on the story, I can help you. We can keep playing together. I'm gonna be streaming more tomorrow. Today I didn't have much time because I kinda started later and due to making that video, but yeah, more tomorrow. And feel free to add me on Steam. It should be struck. It should be struck like this, struck here. If you want my Steam profile, my Steam friend code, I'm gonna give you the code to add me, and then just PM me and we can just team up. I can help you on Ridiculous and make things easier. So just a second, I'm posting my Steam friend code. If you know how to use Steam friend code, it's just where you go to add friends. That's where you use it. And that egg is a world drop. The egg is a world drop, so you can get the egg from any place. So hope you get Wookie and get the egg as well. If you don't get it, don't worry, just use the ones that give you maybe potion cooldown while you're leveling up until level 20, and at level 20 you might use maybe the Quicksilver or whatever else you find that's good. So yeah, good luck with that. Feel free to add me if you need help. And until next time folks, until tomorrow, thanks for tuning in, for all the follows and everything and the subs. Keep it cool, and until next time, goodbye.